If you've been feeling tingling in your toes, heaviness in your legs, or constant cold feet, your circulation might be silently crying for help. That strange numbness after a short walk, the throbbing discomfort when you sit too long, these are not just signs of aging, they're signals. Signals that your blood flow is compromised and that your legs and feet aren't getting the nourishment they desperately need. Now, here's the exciting part: you don't need expensive treatments, fancy machines, or miracle supplements to fix it. The answer could already be sitting on your plate or missing from it. You see, circulation often starts in the tiny blood vessels of your lower limbs, but certain foods, backed by powerful scientific research, can actually open up those vessels, nourish your tissue, and energize your legs from the inside out. We're talking about natural vasodilators, anti-inflammatory nutrients, foods that support nitric oxide production, the same molecule elite athletes use to boost performance. This isn't about trends or fads. It's about giving your body what it wants to heal. Whether you're struggling with diabetes, related foot problems, battling stiffness from sitting too long, or simply want to move without pain again, there is hope. And it starts with the next thing you eat. When it comes to your overall health, most people focus on their heart, brain, or digestion. But what often gets overlooked until something goes wrong is the blood flow to your legs and feet. And yet, this flow is what allows you to walk, move, balance, and heal. Every step you take depends on one crucial system working silently in the background, such as microcirculation. Microcirculation refers to the network of tiny blood vessels, capillaries, arterioles, and venules that reach deep into the tissues of your lower limbs. Vessels are responsible for delivering oxygen, nutrients, and immune support to your muscles, nerves, and skin. They also remove carbon dioxide and metabolic waste. A bit like the final stretch of a postal route, if that last mile isn't covered, nothing gets delivered and nothing gets picked up. Now, here's the problem. This intricate system is also incredibly vulnerable. Over time, poor diet, lack of movement, aging, smoking, high blood pressure, and diabetes can damage these vessels. When that happens, circulation slows, and you begin to notice the signs: fatigue after walking short distances, numb toes, cramping calves, cold feet, or even a sore on your leg that just won't heal. Might seem minor at first, but they are not. They are the earliest warnings of a much bigger problem. According to the CDC, an estimated 6.5 million Americans over age 40 has peripheral artery disease, PADURs, a condition where narrowed arteries reduce blood flow, especially to the legs and feet. But what's even more alarming is that many don't know they have it. That's because the symptoms, pain, tingling, weakness, are often brushed off as just aging. The truth is, poor circulation is not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. If the blood can't reach your tissues, your muscles weaken, your nerves lose sensitivity, your skin becomes more prone to ulcers and infections, wounds take longer to heal, and in severe cases, untreated pain can lead to an amputation. In fact, 150,000 leg amputations occur every year in the U.S. alone, many of which could be prevented through early detection and lifestyle changes. So why does this happen? Imagine a garden hose with a kink. Water barely trickles out, and the plants at the far end start to dry up. That's what your microcirculation looks like when it's compromised. Your tissues, especially in your feet and lower legs, are starving for oxygen and nutrients, and when they don't get it, they start to shut down. First, it's fatigue. Then it's pain, then it's damage you can't ignore. But here's the most empowering part: this decline are not inevitable. In fact, you can improve microcirculation before serious damage occurs, and often without medications or invasive procedures. One of the fastest, most effective ways to support your circulation system is through food. Your blood vessels are lined with a thin layer called the vas endotheliums. This lining helps control the diameter of your vessels and regulates the flow of blood. When it's healthy, your vessels are elastic and responsive. When it's inflamed or damaged due to poor diet, high cholesterol, or oxidative stress, it can stiffen and clog. Certain foods have been shown to nourish the endothelium, promote nitric oxide production, which widens blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and improve blood viscosity. These changes don't happen overnight, but they build with consistency. For example, nitrate-rich vegetables like beets, spinach, and arugula naturally increase nitric oxide in the body. This molecule relaxes and dilates the blood vessels, improving flow, especially in hard to reach areas like the feet and toes. Garlic and onions contain cane compounds that reduce arterial stiffness and help lower blood pressure. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish like salmon or sardines help reduce clotting and support vessel flexibility. And flavonoid-rich berries, citrus fruits, Dark chocolatey support capillary strength while lowering oxidative damage. These aren't supplements or prescriptions. Foods, real foods that you can eat every single day. And when you eat them consistently, the results can be remarkable. Improved temperature regulation in your feet, less tingling, more endurance when walking, even faster healing if you get a blister or cut. It's important to understand that the earlier you take action, the better your outcomes. Once nerve damage or ulcers set in, recovery becomes much harder. But if you begin supporting your microcirculation now, you can prevent those complications entirely. A diet rich in anti-inflammatory, vasodilating, and antioxidant foods is not just a bonus for your health, it's a frontline defense. It's your daily medicine, your vascular therapy, your insurance policy against a future of limited mobility. And the beauty of this approach, there are no side effects, no risky drugs, just nourishment, empowerment, the ability to choose what goes into your body and how that choice can protect your legs, your feet, your independence. Because healthy circulation isn't just about movement, it's about freedom. And when your feet are strong, your entire life opens up. Your blood vessels are the lifelines of your body, delivering oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and immune cells to every single tissue every second of the day. But to truly appreciate how critical they are, we need to look beneath the surface at the biology that keeps them functioning. Once we understand how they work and what damages them, we can start making better decisions to protect them. At the core of this vascular system is something called the endothelium, a thin, delicate lining inside your arteries and veins. It may only be one cell layer thick. It plays a massive role in your health. The endothelium helps regulate blood pressure, blood clotting, immune response, and most importantly for circulation, vasodilation, or the ability of your vessels to widen when more blood is needed. When your body is functioning optimally, the endothelium releases a remarkable molecule of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is your vessel's best friend. It signals the blood vessels to relax, expand, and allow blood to flow smoothly. This is especially important in your legs and feet, where blood has to travel the farthest and fight gravity on the way back. Now, here's the catch. Nitric oxide production is very sensitive to your lifestyle. It's easily disrupted by things like inflammation, oxidative stress, and chronic high blood sugar. Over time, your blood vessels can lose their flexibility, become narrower, even build up plaque. So what exactly causes this damage? Let's start with ferrous inflammation. This is your body's defense mechanism, but when it becomes chronic, like with poor diet, stress, or pollution, it starts harming instead of healing. Inflammatory molecules attack the endothelium, reducing its ability to produce nitric oxide and weakening its barrier function. Then comes oxidative stress, essentially your body being overwhelmed by free radicals, unstable molecules that damage cells. Free radicals come from fried foods, excessive alcohol, smoking, air pollution, chronic stress. When oxidative stress builds up in your blood vessels, it starts to corrode the lining, much like how metal rusts over time. Cholesterol, especially the oxidized kinds LDL, then takes advantage of these damaged spots in your endothelium. It sneaks in, builds up, and begins forming plaques, which are like hard roadblocks inside your arteries. Over time, these plaques can limit blood flow, leading to fatigue, pain, and even critical blockages. Now, imagine your blood vessels like a system of pipes. When they're new and clean, water flows effortlessly. But if those pipes get corroded with rust or clogged with sludge, pressure builds up, flow slows, and the system struggles to deliver water to the far ends. That's your circulatory system under vascular stress. Your heart has to work harder. Your feet and legs get the short end of the stick. The smallest vessels, the microcapillaries, start to close off or fail. This is what leads to those cold toes, the tingling, the muscle fatigue. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens quietly, day by day, meal by meal, habit by habit. Smoking is one of the worst offenders. Causes instant endothelial dysfunction. Just one cigarette can reduce nitric oxide production for hours. Over time, smoking thickens the blood, stiffens arteries, and accelerates plaque buildup. Add a sedentary lifestyle to the mix, and you have a dangerous combination. Movement is what helps push blood through the legs. When we sit for too long, especially with poor posture, blood stagnates and pressure builds in the veins. High sugar diet also creates a storm of inflammation and oxidative stress. Blood sugar spikes damage the endothelium and make it harder for your vessels to respond to changes in blood flow. This is why people with uncontrolled diabetes often struggle with foot ulcers, neuropathy, and poor healing. They've lost the ability to properly deliver blood to those tissues. But here's the good news. Just as these problems build up gradually, healing can start gradually too. And food, real food, is one of the fastest, safest ways to begin reversing the damage. When you eat foods rich in antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and natural nitrates, you're giving your body the tools to clean out those pipes, repair the lining, and restore flexibility. You're essentially building what I call FLR, vascular resilience, your arteries' ability to adapt, expand, and withstand stress. Leafy greens, like kale, arugula, and spinach boost nitric oxide naturally. A garlic reduces inflammation and softens plaques. Omega-3 rich fish strengthen the endothelium and make blood less sticky. Berries protect against oxidative stress and help maintain capillary integrity. But this isn't just about eating your way to better blood flow. It's also about movement. Exercise is a natural stimulant for nitric oxide. A brisk 20-minute walk improves circulation, pumps oxygen to your legs, and trains your blood vessels to respond faster. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. Just consistent, gentle movement combined with consistent, nourishing food can transform your vascular health over time. Think of your blood vessels like rubber bands. When they're young and healthy, they stretch easily. When they're inflamed and damaged, they crack and break, but feed them the right foods and you help restore their elasticity. Support them with movement and they respond better under pressure. It's never too late to start strengthening your circulatory system. Every bite of real food, every step you take, every moment you choose health, your vessels are listening. And they will thank you with warmth in your feet, energy in your legs, and strength in your step. Reason why beets are often called the circulation king. Behind their deep crimson color lies a powerful secret: natural nitrates. When you eat beets, these nitrates are converted by your body into nitric oxide, one of the most important molecules for vascular health. Nitric oxide is what signals your blood vessels to relax and expand, allowing more blood to flow smoothly, especially to areas farthest from the heart, like your legs and feet. This is vital for anyone experiencing symptoms of poor blood flow: tingling toes, heavy calves, leg cramps, or cold feet. Increasing nitric oxide can be a game changer. It allows more oxygen and nutrients to reach your muscles and nerves, which helps reduce fatigue, increase stamina, and even accelerate healing in the lower limbs. In fact, studies have shown just how impressive the effect can be. In one clinical trial, with peripheral artery disease, APAD, a condition where narrowed arteries reduce blood flow to the legs, were given beet juice daily. Within just a few weeks, their walking distance significantly improved. They were able to walk farther and longer before feeling pain. The reason: nitric oxide from the beets helped open up restricted blood vessels, bringing life, giving oxygen back to those starving leg muscles. This isn't just for people with disease. Even healthy individuals can benefit. Beets have become popular among endurance athletes for a reason. When consumed before a workout, they help deliver more oxygen to working muscles, making the activity feel easier. Whether you're doing a gentle walk, a stair climb, or a leg workout, having beets beforehand can improve performance, delay fatigue, and enhance recovery. The best part is that beets are versatile. You can eat them raw, grated into a salad for a crunchy, earthy bite. You can roast them, which brings out their natural sweetness. But one of the most effective and concentrated ways to enjoy their circulation benefits is by juicing them. When you juice a beet, you get a direct hit of nitrates, fast absorbing and highly effective. Some people like to start their day with a morning beet drink to prime their circulation system. It's simple. One small raw beet, half a lemon for vitamin C and flavor, a small piece of ginger for anti-inflammatory support, and a dash of black pepper to enhance absorption. Blend it with a little water or coconut water, and you have a vibrant tonic that wakes up your legs, boosts your nitric oxide, and gives you a natural energy kick without the caffeine. Many who try this routine report improvements within a week or two. They say their legs feel lighter, they experience less stiffness in the morning, even say their feet feel warmer, an early sign of improved microcirculation. There's a story I often remember of a retired teacher who reached out after incorporating beets into her routine. She had been experiencing leg cramps every night and had trouble walking her dog even half a block. After reading about nitric oxide, she began drinking beet juice each morning. 2 weeks later, she noticed her nighttime cramps were gone. A month later, she was walking a mile every morning, no pain, no exhaustion. Changed anything else, just the beet juice. It's remarkable how one humble root vegetable can do so much for your circulation. And it's not magic, it's science. Improve endothelial function. They reduce blood pressure. They help your arteries become more flexible. They support nitric oxide production naturally without the side effects of medication, even more when you pair beets with movement, especially leg exercises like walking, cycling, or simple calf raises. You multiply the effect. The improved blood flow from nitric oxide helps deliver oxygen to working muscles more efficiently, making the exercise feel easier and the recovery smoother. Your body learns to pump blood more effectively, and over time, your vascular system becomes stronger and more responsive. You don't have to overhaul your diet or become a juicing fanatic. Just adding one small beet per day can make a noticeable difference. It's easy, affordable, and deeply nourishing. The key is consistency. Your vessels thrive on routine. Give them beets regularly, and they will reward you with energy, warmth, and strength in your legs and feet. Beets are not just food. They are medicine in disguise, and for anyone dealing with poor circulation, they are one of the simplest, most powerful first steps toward healing. There's one that deserves to be called nature's artery cleaner. It's the pomegranate. Behind its ruby red seeds is a powerhouse of healing compounds, most notably polyphenols and as antioxidants. Then these nutrients help fight the oxidative stress that silently damages your blood vessels every single day. Inside your body, free radicals are constantly being produced, whether from stress, processed food, smoking, pollution, or just regular metabolism. When these free radicals get out of control, attacking your blood vessel walls, especially the inner lining called the endothelium, that lining is responsible for helping your arteries expand and contract, control blood pressure, and most importantly, produce nitric oxide. But when it's inflamed or damaged, blood flow becomes stiff, restricted, and inefficient. This is where pomegranate steps in. Pomegranate contains unique antioxidants called acetars punicalagins, found almost exclusively in this fruit. These compounds are incredibly effective at neutralizing free radicals and reducing inflammation. When consumed regularly, they help protect the endothelium, allowing it to function at its best. That means better nitric oxide output, better blood flow, and better delivery of oxygen to your legs and feet. There was a fascinating study published in Clinical Nutrition where participants with carotid artery narrowing were given pomegranate juice daily for a year. The results showed up to a 30% reduction in arterial plaque. That's massive. Not only did the plaque stop growing, in some cases it actually regressed, and their blood pressure improved too. That's the real power of natural healing. No pills, no surgery, just a simple fruit with big results. Another trial showed that people who drank pomegranate juice daily experienced improved seas flow-mediated dilation, which is a fancy way of saying their arteries could open more easily. That means more blood flow, more oxygen to your legs and feet, and less chance of fatigue or pain during movement. Many people who suffer from poor circulation feel it most when they walk. After a few minutes, their calves tighten, their feet start to feel numb. These symptoms are classic signs of reduced blood flow. The combination of beets, which open up the vessels through nitric oxide, and pomegranate, which protects those vessels from damage, is incredibly effective. Beets make the vessels relax. Pomegranate helps them stay healthy and elastic. Together, they create a synergistic effect that can bring real relief. Incorporating pomegranate into your daily routine is easier than most people think. The juice is widely available. Just make sure to choose 100% pure pomegranate juice, not a sugary blend. Drinking 4 to 6 ounces a day is often enough to see benefits. Some people like to add it to their morning smoothie with beets, ginger, and citrus for a powerful start to the day. The seeds, called arils, are also edible and delicious. They can be sprinkled over a salad, mixed into oatmeal, or simply eaten by the spoonful as a snack. They add a tart, juicy crunch and bring all those antioxidant benefits along with them. If you're someone who likes yogurt bowls, pomegranate pairs beautifully with plain Greek yogurt, a drizzle of honey, a few walnuts for an anti-inflammatory, circulation-boosting breakfast. Just about what pomegranate brings on its own. It's about how it supports everything else you're doing to improve your vascular health. When you're eating foods that boost nitric oxide, like beets and leafy greens, pomegranate helps preserve that nitric oxide by reducing oxidative stress in your bloodstream. Like protecting a good investment. You've created nitric oxide. Now keep it working longer and stronger by neutralizing the things that destroy it. Woman I once met who shared her story about living with cold feet for over a decade. She tried thermal socks, foot warmers, and even medications, but nothing worked long term. She started combining beet juice and pomegranate juice daily, just a few ounces of each in the morning. Within 3 weeks, she noticed her feet weren't icy by the end of the day. A month later, she no longer needed heated insoles. It wasn't magic, it was blood flow. For the first time in years, her tissues were being fed again. Pain while walking, sluggish legs, cold limbs, these are not just signs of aging. They're signals from your body, signals that the highways of your circulatory system are narrowing, becoming rough and congested. Pomegranate helps clean out those highways. It doesn't happen overnight, but with consistency, it makes a real difference. Every time you choose pomegranate, whether in juice or seed form, you're making an investment in your endothelium. You're giving your body the support it needs to produce nitric oxide, protect the vessels, and restore smooth, healthy blood flow all the way to your toes. Combined with the right foods and regular movement, it's a simple, powerful tool to reclaim your circulation and your mobility. Most people don't realize how powerful a simple bowl of greens can be for their circulation. Yet dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard are some of the most effective foods for improving blood flow, especially to the legs and feet. These vegetables are loaded with natural nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that tells your blood vessels to relax and open wider. When your vessels dilate, blood moves more easily. Oxygen gets delivered more efficiently. Muscles work better, and you feel less heaviness, less fatigue, and more energy where you need it most. Nitric oxide is something your body can produce naturally, but with age, stress, and poor diet, those levels start to drop. That's why circulation issues are so common in people over 40. The legs and feet, being the furthest from the heart, suffer the most. The good news is that greens help reverse this trend. Arugula, in particular, is one of the highest nitrate contents of any vegetable. Spinach and Swiss chard are close behind, and kale offers an incredible mix of antioxidants along with its nitrate punch. Alongside nitrates, these greens are also rich in a folate, a B vitamin that plays a crucial role in keeping your blood vessels healthy. One of folate's lesser-known jobs is to lower homocysteine levels in the blood. Homocysteine is a naturally occurring amino acid, but when it builds up too much, it becomes toxic to your arteries. It irritates and inflames the inner lining, reducing flexibility and contributing to plaque formation. High homocysteine is strongly linked to heart attacks, strokes, and yes, poor circulation in the lower extremities. By getting enough folate from greens, you help lower this vascular risk. Another major benefit of leafy greens is their fiber content. Fiber supports healthy digestion, but it also helps the cardiovascular system in a more direct way. When consumed regularly, fiber can help reduce blood pressure. High blood pressure is one of the leading causes of circulation problems because it places constant strain on your vessel walls. Over time, damages the endothelium and makes arteries less responsive. Fiber helps by balancing blood sugar, lowering LDL cholesterol, and reducing inflammation, all of which ease pressure on the system. Now compare this to the typical processed meal many people eat. Frozen dinners, fast food, sugary snacks. These options are usually low in fiber, devoid of natural nitrates, and often high in sodium and trans fats. That combination narrows arteries, thickens blood, makes it harder for oxygen to get where it needs to go. One heavy processed meal can reduce nitric oxide production within hours, causing vessels to constrict and slowing circulation down dramatically. Now imagine the opposite, a fresh plate filled with nitrate-rich vegetables. A burst of color and life that feeds your body at the cellular level. A simple circulation salad can go a long way in restoring what your system needs. One version starts with a base of fresh arugula and baby spinach, two of the highest nitrate greens available. Add in thinly sliced red bell peppers, which bring vitamin C to help stabilize the nitrates and enhance absorption. A few cherry tomatoes for flavor, half an avocado for healthy fat, sprinkle of pumpkin seeds for magnesium and crunch, then drizzle with a homemade lemon olive oil dressing. If you want to supercharge it, add steamed beets or a handful of pomegranate arrows right on top. Every ingredient in this combination is geared toward opening blood vessels, reducing inflammation, improving leg and foot circulation. When this type of meal becomes a daily habit, the impact is measurable. People often report fewer cramps, warmer feet, less tingling, and better endurance when walking or standing. What's really happening is that more blood is reaching those distant tissues. Muscles are getting the oxygen they crave. Nerves are finally being nourished again. It's not a miracle, it's biology. And it starts with what you put on your plate. Many of the older adults who struggle with circulation end up taking medication after medication, trying to get relief from cold toes or sore calves. But the real healing often lies in the foundation of diet. A handful of dark leafy greens each day, whether in a salad, sauteed as a side, or blended into a smoothie can make a bigger difference than they ever imagined. When your body is given the raw materials to produce nitric oxide naturally, when the blood vessels are protected by folate and fiber, your circulation doesn't just improve, it starts to thrive. You begin to feel warmth where you used to feel numbness. You begin to move with more ease and less strain. And your legs and feet, which carry you through life, finally get the support they deserve. Most people think of inflammation as something that happens when you twist an ankle or catch a cold. But there's another kind of inflammation, silent and hidden, that slowly damages the inside of your blood vessels. This is the type of inflammation that makes circulation sluggish, especially in the legs and feet. It stiffens arteries, weakens vessel walls, and invites plaque to build up. And over time, it leads to narrowed pathways for blood to travel, reducing oxygen flow to your lower body. You may not notice it right away, but you feel it: fatigue in your legs, cold feet, restless nights, or even cramps after a short walk. That's where fatty fish come in. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. These fish are rich in powerful compounds called omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. These are not just ordinary fats. They are inflammation-fighting molecules that help calm down the immune responses that harm blood vessels. They gently reduce the levels of cytokines and other inflammatory chemicals circulating in the bloodstream, creating a more peaceful environment for your arteries to function in. When your arteries are calm and smooth, blood flows freely, oxygen delivery improves, muscles in your legs and feet get the nourishment they need to stay strong and energized. EPA and DHA also play another critical role. They help prevent blood from clotting unnecessarily. In people who sit for long hours, especially during travel or desk jobs, the risk of clotting in the legs increases. This condition, known as deep vein thrombosis, ADVT, can be extremely dangerous. Omega-3s help by making platelets in the blood less sticky, clumping together and forming clots. They circulate more easily. This keeps blood moving through even the smallest capillaries, reaching areas that often go neglected, like the soles of your feet or your calves during rest. Several studies have shown the benefits of omega-3 fatty acids when it comes to circulation and cramp relief. In one clinical trial, participants who increased their intake of oily fish reported a noticeable reduction in nighttime leg cramps. Their blood vessels had become more elastic, their circulation improved, and the painful spasms that used to wake them up began to fade. In another observational study, people who consumed fatty fish at least twice a week had significantly lower markers of inflammation in their blood compared to those who rarely ate fish. The difference wasn't subtle. It showed up in better blood pressure, lower triglycerides, and improved walking ability. Adding fatty fish to your meals doesn't have to be complicated. Grilled salmon fillets with lemon and herbs make for a satisfying, heartbreaking dinner. Sardines on whole grain toast with a little olive oil and cracked pepper offer quick. Omega-3, rich in nitric, known for its bold flavor and soft texture, can be pan-seared or added to a salad with grains, walnuts, and a splash of vinegar. These meals aren't just delicious, they're medicine for your circulation. Not everyone eats fish. For plant-based eaters, omega-3 intake can still be supported through flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. Flax seeds and chia seeds are rich in ALA, a form of omega-3 that the body can partially convert into EPA and DHA. The conversion rate isn't as efficient as eating fish directly, but it still offers benefits. Ground flaxseed can be stirred into oatmeal or blended into smoothies. Chia seeds can be soaked into pudding or added to yogurt bowls. For those who want to boost intake further, based omega-3 supplements are available and provide a direct source of DHA, making them a great option for vegetarians and vegans. Whether you get them from salmon or seeds, threes help the inner lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium, function properly. This lining controls dilation, regulates clotting, and manages inflammation. When the endothelium is damaged by constant stress, poor diet, or high blood sugar, it becomes rigid. Blood flow slows down. But with omega-3s, this lining is supported. It stays flexible, responds to signals. It opens up the vessels exactly when and where blood is needed the most. For people who suffer from cold toes, swollen feet, or achy legs, the right fats can be a game changer. They allow blood to reach those areas that are often underserved by a tired or inflamed circulatory system. You may start to notice less swelling by the end of the day, better stamina during walks, and fewer episodes of leg cramps during the night. Even more importantly, omega-3s don't just help short-term symptoms, they support long-term vascular health. They reduce the kind of inflammation that quietly builds over the years, leading to heart disease, blocked arteries, and poor mobility. They work quietly like a repair crew, keeping your inner system smooth, open, and efficient. Your heart has to pump less forcefully. Your vessels deliver more with less effort. And your legs and feet, the farthest destinations in your circulatory highway, get exactly what they need to move, support, carry you every single day. When it comes to keeping your blood vessels strong and your circulation healthy, few foods work as gently and powerfully as berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries may look small, but they're packed with a vibrant group of plant compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give berries their deep blue, red, and purple colors. More than just coloring agents, anthocyanins are protectors of your tiniest blood vessels, the capillaries that deliver oxygen and nutrients all the way down to your legs and feet. Capillaries are delicate. They're thinner than a strand of hair, and yet they carry the final portion of blood flow to your tissues. If these vessels weaken or become inflamed, circulation starts to break down at the smallest level. You may begin to notice discomfort in your legs, things like swelling at the ankles, a heavy feeling when walking, or even veins that bulge under the skin. This happens when capillaries can't keep up and blood struggles to return upward through the veins, especially from the lower body. That's where berries shine. The anthocyanins in berries strengthen the walls of these tiny vessels, making them more elastic and less likely to leak fluid into surrounding tissue. This leads to less swelling in the feet and ankles and improved circulation in the veins that work against gravity to return blood back to the heart. The result is not only better comfort, but also a reduced risk of developing spider veins, varicose veins, or chronic venous insufficiency. Researchers have studied how berry consumption affects the larger arteries as well. In a study involving middle-aged adults, those who consumed blueberries daily experienced a significant reduction in arterial stiffness, a condition where the arteries lose their flexibility and become harder for blood to travel through. Less stiffness means smoother flow, lower blood pressure, and reduced strain on the heart to push blood toward the legs. In another study, strawberries were linked to improved endothelial function, the ability of blood vessels to dilate and respond to changing needs. This effect improves blood flow, especially in people with risk factors like obesity or high cholesterol. Berries are incredibly easy to add to your daily routine. A handful of blueberries stirred into oatmeal not only adds sweetness, but also helps your blood vessels start the day supported. Strawberries sliced over a bowl of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese turn a simple snack into a circulation-friendly treat. Blackberries blended into a smoothie offer a burst of flavor and a natural way to cool inflammation that may be interfering with leg comfort. These berries work even better when paired with other antioxidants, especially those found in green tea. Green tea contains catechins, plant compounds that, like anthocyanins, protect the walls of arteries and reduce oxidative stress. When you combine berries and green tea, their benefits multiply. Together, they create an internal environment where your blood vessels are more resilient, more responsive, and better equipped to deliver nutrients and oxygen where it's needed most. Drinking a cup of green tea with a bowl of mixed berries can be a simple but powerful ritual that feeds your vascular system every morning or afternoon. People who consume berries regularly often notice subtle but meaningful changes. Their legs may feel lighter after a day of standing. They may experience fewer cramps in the calves, especially in the evening. Socks leave fewer marks around the ankles, showing that swelling is under control. All of this begins with the small vessels, the capillaries, that most of us never think about. Strengthening them doesn't require medicine. It begins with food. And among all the foods that help, berries are among the most effective. Anthocyanins also help regulate enzymes that affect blood flow and clotting. They keep the inner lining of the blood vessels, the endothelium, flexible and balanced. This makes it easier for blood to move from the heart through the arteries into the smallest capillaries and then back through the veins. Every beat of your heart becomes more efficient. Your legs benefit directly because they rely on precise timing and vessel strength to keep circulation moving in both directions, down and back up. In people who sit for long periods or live a more sedentary lifestyle, blood tends to pool in the lower body. That pooling stretches veins and slows down the return of blood to the upper body. But anthocyanins from berries help tighten up the circulatory network, signal the vessel walls to stay strong, helping them resist the wear and tear that causes so many leg-related issues over time. Over weeks and months of regular berry intake, the body responds by building a more robust vascular system, one that supports energy, reduces fatigue, and keeps your legs and feet feeling fresh. Even freezing doesn't damage the benefits of berries. Frozen blueberries and strawberries maintain their anthocyanin content, making them just as potent as fresh variety. They can be thawed and mixed into cereals, added to smoothies, or eaten straight from the bowl as a cold, hydrating snack. What matters most is consistency, making them a regular part of your week. Little by little, they help rebuild the strength of your smallest vessels, protect your veins, port your legs in ways that go far beyond taste or sweetness. Not all food heals. Some foods, in fact, quietly harm your body, especially your blood vessels. While we've talked about powerful superfoods that improve blood flow to your legs and feet, it's just as important to know which foods do the opposite. These are the foods that can tighten your arteries, cause inflammation, and undo the progress you've made with every bite of beets, berries, or salmon. They may look delicious, even comforting, but inside of your body, they are creating roadblocks in your circulation highway. One of the biggest culprits is trans fat. These are artificially created fats found in many packaged baked goods, fried fast food, and margarine spreads. Trans fats are known to harden arteries by promoting inflammation and increasing bad cholesterol levels while lowering the good kind. Combination sets the stage for plaque to build up on your artery walls, narrowing the space where blood can flow. And when that blood flow is restricted, your legs are the first to suffer. You feel it as heaviness, fatigue, or that pins and needles sensation when you stand for too long. Next on the list are refined sugars, found in soda, candy, pastries, and even seemingly harmless things like flavored yogurts and energy drinks. When sugar floods your bloodstream, your body reacts with a spike in insulin and inflammation. Over time, high sugar intake damages the lining of your arteries, the endothelium, and reduces nitric oxide production. This means your blood vessels lose their ability to expand and contract, which directly impacts how much blood gets to your legs. Muscles become deprived of oxygen, nerves lose support, small cuts or bruises take longer to heal. Sodium or salt is another silent offender. It's essential in small amounts, but most people consume far too much, mainly from processed meats, frozen dinners, canned soups, and salty snacks. When sodium builds up in your system, it causes your body to retain water. This water doesn't just stay in your belly, it sinks into your legs, ankles, and feet. The result is swelling, discomfort, and added pressure on the veins trying to return blood to your heart. Excess salt also raises blood pressure, putting strain on the arteries, making them more vulnerable to damage. Think of your arteries like flexible garden hoses. When you eat the right foods like greens, pomegranates, and fish, they stay smooth and open. But when trans fats, sugar, excess salt are added regularly, those hoses begin to stiffen, narrow, and even crack. Blood can't move as freely, and instead of nourishing your lower limbs, it slows down, pools, creates that aching, sluggish feeling so many people silently suffer through. Now, it's not just about avoiding these damaging foods, because in real life, cravings happen. Convenience matters, comfort plays a role. What's more realistic and sustainable is to practice simple swaps. If you usually reach for potato chips, try air fried sweet potato slices tossed in olive oil and sea salt. If soda is your go-to, swap it for sparkling water with lemon or berries for flavor. If you're tempted by processed pastries in the morning, try a bowl of oats topped with blueberries and a drizzle of honey instead. You're not depriving yourself, simply replacing what harms with what heals. It's easy to fall into the trap of a little won't hurt. And while an occasional indulgence is fine, the trouble comes when these foods become the foundation of your routine. Because every time you eat inflammatory foods, they create tiny injuries to your blood vessels. Injuries add up over time, leading to stiffer arteries, thicker blood, and weaker circulation. And even if you're adding superfoods to your diet, their benefits can be drowned out by too many of these harmful choices. Many people begin eating beets, adding berries to their smoothies, drinking pomegranate juice, but they're still eating fried takeout for lunch or drinking sugary beverages throughout the day. In the long run, the damage from those habits begins to cancel out the benefits of the good ones. It's like trying to clean your windshield with one hand while splashing mud on it with the other. Progress becomes harder to see and feel. A helpful mindset is to think of your food choices as votes. Every meal, every snack is a vote for either healing or harming your circulation. When the majority of your choices support blood flow, your legs and feet begin to recover. You walk longer without pain. Your swelling decreases. Sleep improves because your legs aren't keeping you awake at night. You don't need to eat perfectly to protect your circulation. You just need to eat consciously. Every time you choose foods that protect your arteries instead of clog them, you make it easier for your heart to do its job and for your blood to reach all the way to your toes. Healing is possible, but only if you clear the path. That starts with what's on your plate. Imagine doing something for 30 days that quietly transforms the way your body feels, especially your legs and feet. No extreme workout, no medication, just food. Not just eating to fill hunger, but eating to heal, to strengthen, and to improve blood flow right down to your toes. It's subtle at first, but the longer you stick with it, the more your body begins to respond in ways that feel impossible to ignore. In the first few days, something starts to shift on a cellular level. Inside your arteries and blood vessels, there's a delicate lining called the endothelium. It's responsible for helping your blood vessels expand and contract as needed, regulating blood pressure and controlling inflammation. The nutrients in circulation, friendly foods like polyphenols in pomegranate, flavonoids in berries, nitrates in leafy greens begin to nourish this lining. The endothelium becomes more responsive, more elastic, more efficient. Blood starts to flow a little more smoothly. Oxygen reaches tissues more easily. There's less friction, less resistance, and a noticeable lightness, especially in your lower legs. As nitric oxide production increases, your body starts to feel it. Oxide is a natural compound that helps relax blood vessels, allowing more blood to flow through with less pressure. Nitrate-rich vegetables like